what time it is? It is time for patch 13.14 preview. When will this go live? I don't know this time. I think it goes live in a week. I'm like pretty sure this goes live in a week, but Riot's timetable lately has been pretty bad. So I assume it goes live in like a week and then maybe a day after that week. Okay, I'm just getting that out of the way. So yeah, 13.14 preview. Where are the full changes? I don't know. I don't know if they'll do them. If you want me to be blunt, I don't. Riot has been a bit inconsistent lately with what they've been doing. They put this out, however, yesterday, and I decided, well, I haven't done a patch note video in a while, so this is what you guys get. So, gonna be on Threads is Riot Froxen and posting on both platforms. A pretty big patch coming back from break. The dogs are out this patch. Nefiri. We're lowering the power of early ganks with mainly a nerf to red buff, but compensating with a bit of treat gold. Now obviously I pay attention to like a lot of league stuff, so if I know what's happening, then I'll tell you guys, but a lot of times I don't actually know what's happening. I also played a crap load of PvE for the 2v2 changes. Now I might make a video about the 2v2 changes. I could also put it into this video, but we'll see how I feel as I go through this. Making modernizations to some mages and nerfing some of our more potent jungle outliners, especially if their items are getting buffed, e.g. Sojin. Also change to item choice structures, buffing underutilized items and adjustments to others. Trinity worse on ranged, better on melee. Shiv with Dematerializer is still performing a bit too well on LeBlanc, so I'm making some further changes there, and also reducing game quality late game on ADCs when waves get killed too fast. IE changes our buffs to its unique niche, crit damage, in exchange for AD spiking power. Okay, so if I know specifically like what the changes are doing, I'll tell you. But again, sometimes I don't know. So Aatrox is getting buffed. How is Aatrox getting buffed? His Q will do more damage to minions, as well as doing more damage total in exchange for a little bit of base damage. His QAD ratio is going from 60 to 80 to 60 to 100%. In exchange for like 20 flat damage. In other words, Aatrox is getting overbuffed to the moon. Now I know Aatrox is underperforming a little bit at the extreme high ranks, but the buffs that Riot are doing here, I promise you, Riot, this is crazy. Aatrox is underperforming a little bit at the high ranks, yes, but part of the thing is you guys are nerfing Jax here, which I don't think Jax needs to be nerfed if you're making all Bruisers overpowered. You already made Renekton overpowered, so if you make Aatrox overpowered, I think honestly, you just let that go. You just go, okay, they all get to be overpowered. That's fine, right? Like, if that's what you guys want to do, because that's literally what they said they were going to do. Just to be clear, I'm not making that up. They said they wanted they wanted top lane bruisers to basically scale significantly better, so that more people cared about top lane and more people wanted to play about in top lane, right? So it does make sense if their intent is to make top laners skill better, so that top laners Well, you know what I mean, right? So I don't think they should nerf Jax if they're going to buff Aatrox and have Aatrox, Renekton, Jax being overpowered. And that's fine. Just to be clear, I would be okay with this solution to the top lane problem. The problem is just, let's be blunt, I think even with that in mind, Aatrox will be overpowered. So I think, and this is just me to you, right? Like me to you. I think a good way to go about this and try to nerf this would be to his ult tune is currently 20 to 45. Tone it down to 20 to 40 again. Even consider turning it down to like 20 to 30 maybe again, back to where it used to be. Because at 100% AD ratio on his Q, like I promise you that is way overpowered. The champion, in my opinion, in addition with his damage buff on minions, which I don't think he needs if they're buffing its damage that much. Basically, I'm spending so much time here because I promise you Aatrox ends up at like 52, hypothetically 53% win rate, and I don't think that would be a good thing for the health of the game. Diana is getting buffed. I don't know how. Lissandra's getting buffed. I don't know how. Diana's getting buffed because Riot continues to power creep the jungle, and so basically what happens is they buff the jungler, so they need to buff a 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 jungler, and just to be clear, we are still in a situation where jungler has Kindred, Rek'Sai, Rengar, and Ivern being S+ tier picks, okay? So we're still in a world where we have certain champions just completely dominant. Kha'Zix and Graves are still overpowered. It's just that their win rate is being eaten by these S plus tier picks. Nidalee is now overpowered at the high ranks, okay? So I think, Riot, I beg you, I say this every patch, and I beg you, stop buffing junglers every single patch. Lissandra's getting buffed, I don't know how. She's probably a little bit too weak, but I'd be careful with this, because once Lissandra gets dominant, she tends to root the meta around her. She seems to have stunning displays. She, really, if you know what I mean, gap closes into the opposing team, roots everyone, then goes invulnerable while slowing everyone so that her team can engage while she does massive damage, if you catch my drift. So I would be a little bit careful about this one, because this champion tends to be very, very good in pro play when she takes off a little bit. Okay. Shaco AD buff. Shaco AD's been underpowered for a while, but I don't really like Shaco AD because he can spend way too much time in stealth. I know what you're saying. Oh, but that's his thing. His thing shouldn't be that, like, he can always appear next to you, like, no matter what you do, no matter where you are, and all you can do is randomly walk back every so often just in case he's trying to Q onto you, and then you, like, waste his time, and then, oh no, he falls off, right? Like, yeah, sure, that's the gameplay, but is that fun gameplay? That just, like, if you're laning top or whatever, you just have to randomly just walk back every so often because you can waste his time should he happen to be queuing at you. I feel like you should be able to avoid ganks, like, on your merit as a player, like in warding, you know, doing stuff like that. Like, the champion shouldn't be able to just, like, queue over the wall, then run all the way into the middle of the lane somehow because he can just stealth for that long. I don't know. Shyvana's getting buffed. I do know what the Shyvana buffs are. Her Q will now get attack speed on the next 2 attacks, 40 to 60%, and her E now has an AD ratio on the on hit. So that should make Shyvana significantly more powerful. Both AD and AP Shyvana should be significantly more powerful. In addition, this might be the buff that the Titanic Hydra, Demonic Embrace, Iceborne Gauntlet Shyvana build needs to be viable. Basically, maxing W into Q will significantly, it will give you a lot of sustained damage and mobility, and that build should just be doing a lot better, is what I'm saying. Volibear's getting buffed. His W is getting, I think, from what I remember, because they might be changing it, because especially because, like, all I've done is play the 2v2 game mode, and sometimes in 2v2 champions are slightly different, but I believe they are increasing the healing on his W. His W will heal, instead of 16% missing HP at max rank, it will be 20%. I think they also might be buffing the health ratio on his W. I think. I'm not 100% on that one, so I don't know. Xerath is getting buffed. I don't know. I feel like Xerath mechanically needs changes. Like, he needs to do something different. Like, he needs to do something like when he uses W, he gets a shield. Because mechanically, artillery mages with no survivability, no mobility, nothing they can do, aren't going to be viable. Convince me in any way that Xerath will ever outperform Seraphine, and I'd be amazed. How can Xerath outperform Seraphine? I know that sounds stupid, but tell me how. Like, they're both artillery mages. One of them has a shield with mobility that, you know, allows her to run away quicker. One of them doesn't. You know, sure, you can say Xerath has slightly more range. Oh, Xerath has more sustained damage. Oh, Xerath has his ultimate for more range. But Seraphine has, you know, very long range. She has more utility. She might have slightly less DPS, sure, but she has the ability to be much safer while outputting it. Xerath, what does he do? What does he do in Modern League? And that's why Seraphine can be an AD carry and Xerath can't. Zyra is getting buffed. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't like Zyra. I think she's so outdated. And the whole, like, spamming plants with Leandri's thing is like, haha, it's funny. Because, like, you get hit by one plant shot. And then you get dotted by Leandri's, which then does 100 damage to you over time. Ha ha ha. It's funny, right, everybody? Ha ha. Like, okay, cool. Hecarim's getting nerfed because I mean, in their words, not mine, in Riot's words, they're nerfing Hecarim because They're buffing Spirit Sojin? I don't know. Jax is getting nerfed. This one's not very shocking. The dude's been overpowered for 12 years. I'm just a little bit worried that they're going to start like randomly buffing and nerfing bruisers from S tier. So great. Now we'll go from Jax being pick banned to Aatrox being pick banned. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't help. Like, either make all bruisers overpowered or none of them, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like pick a side, pick a lane. Okay, because just changing out Jax goes from pick banned to Aatrox goes to pick banned. Great. Cool. Like, Jax players feel bad, Aatrox players feel good, but balance doesn't feel good. Karthus is getting buffed. I don't understand this one at all. I think so many people have said that Karthus is super overpowered. That's it. That's all I have to say. I literally went and looked at my other monitor because I was like, I had seen this, and yeah, like Karthus is not doing bad right now. So I'm not sure what to say about that one. Kindra's getting nerfed because, shockingly, making a champion Giga S tier with massive DPS buffs, then slightly nerfing their survivability. Anyone remember the durability update, by the way? Anyone remember that? Anyone remember the durability update? So they Giga buffed her damage, nerfed her survivability, basically undoing the durability update on the champion. And then now what are they going to do? Are they going to nerf her survivability even more? Is that what you're going to do, Ryan? Are you going to nerf it even more? How about undoing the 17 damage buffs you gave her? Make her Q give less attack speed, make her Q give less damage, reduce the health damage that you buffed, reduce all that other shit that you buffed. Okay? Do that, Riot. Do that. Okay? Reduce the critical strike threshold and shit. I don't know. Just come on, Riot. Melio's getting nerfed because he's been overpowered forever. I don't really know why Melio is so overpowered. He definitely, like, you don't feel like he's overpowered, and yet he's very clearly overpowered. So I don't really know what to say about Melio. I don't really know what to say. I have no opinion here. Okay, Rel's getting nerfed because she is just giga overpowered. She is way too tanky for how much CC she performs, and let's be blunt. Let's just be straight blunt here. This isn't like, oh my god, Rel's like a little bit overtuned. She's like, oh my god, she's like giga S plus 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 tier. Like, I guess it's okay that Rakan is like giga overpowered, but like Rel broke the line. Okay, she needs to learn. You can be overpowered in Riot's world, and they don't care if you're overpowered. You just can't like have people notice how overpowered you are. Because look, if you're overpowered like Kai'Sa, you're fine. If you're overpowered like Ashe, Riot doesn't give a shit. But if you're overpowered like Rel, and people start noticing, then Riot goes, no. Rengar's getting nerfed. I doubt it's gonna do anything. I doubt. I don't even know if I want to spend time on Rengar nerfs. It's like pathetic. This champion has been S plus tier for like 5 years now. I don't even know, man. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. He's just too good. Rek'Sai's getting nerfed. I like woke up like an hour ago. I take a while to wake up sometimes. Okay, so what's up with Rek'Sai? Rek'Sai got giga buffed, way too much DPS. Like, I understand what they're doing, but like, there needs to be a break in Rek'Sai's damage. The problem is right now, let me see if I can find this for you guys. I'm just looking at it right now. I'm just buying time. I'm buying time. So if you look at it right now, Rek'Sai's Q cooldown is 4 to 2. I think it needs to be 4 to 3 at the least. Maybe even 5 to 3. The problem is right now, Rek'Sai giga destroys you. Like, her Q is like a 0.5 AD ratio, right? So she like auto attacks into a Q, and you're like, oh boy, I'm a tank, so I'm not dead. Then she like auto attacks into a Q, and you're like, wait, what? She just did that. Then she auto attacks into a Q, and then she ults and you're dead. And you're like, but I'm a super tank. What happened here? And they tried to give Rek'Sai so much sustained damage so she could kill tanks that now, like, even if Rek'Sai is behind, and maybe that's what the buff was for, to make a Rek'Sai who's behind more viable. But the problem is, like, Rek'Sai just does so much sustained damage right now. For a one-shot assassin, she just does so much sustained damage right now that it's ridiculous. It's totally unfun. You know. Sign's getting nerfed. Okay, normally I would say, oh, Sign's not overpowered. What are they doing? But like, Sign has become so goddamn unfun to fight. Like, I'm not even joking. Sign is so unfun to fight right now. I have so unfun fighting this champion. So little fun. I have literally no fun fighting this champion. I'm talking no fun at all whatsoever. I hate fighting this champion. The new Heartsteel Scion is so legitimately uninteresting to fight. Literally just suiciding to push the wave and get 1 or 2 Heartsteel procs over and over until eventually he's got 6, 7, 8,000 HP just by running up and dying constantly. And the thing is, he starts taking so much time to kill that some champions just can't even kill him before he ults away. And that's it. That's the entire playstyle. Okay, I'm going to be blunt with Riot on this one. I think you guys need to make a mechanical change to Scion, and I'm hoping if you guys are nerfing him, this is what you're doing. Make it so Scion cannot proc Heartsteel in his passive. It is so stupid that all Scion does is runs up, dies, procs Heartsteel in his passive on the revenge hit, maybe even procs it 2 or 3 times in the middle of a team fight, and then all of a sudden, like, it was actually mathematically worth it for him. He got enough gold on that death that it was actually worth it for him. I know people will make the haha good death joke, but like, my god, it's actually unfun. Like, it's so unfun to fight this champion. Like, I'm not saying, like, let me put it this way. There are situations where I fight Scion and I think to myself, god damn, I think I would rather fight a ranged top at this point. Because, like, he doesn't even try to interact with you. He doesn't even make an attempt to interact with you anymore. He just runs past you and takes the good death. Haha, it's funny. Shut up. Champion adjustments to Yorick and Nefiri is getting released. Okay, so what's going on with Yorick? I don't know. I literally don't know. In the 2v2 game mode, which is what I played on the PBE, I literally don't know what's going on with Yorick. So, I don't know. Nefiri's getting released. Played with her on the PBE. She has a lot of gap closers and a lot of point and click stuns. Not stuns, but damage kills. I think Nefiri will probably be overtuned on live. I think at the high ranks she'll be more counterable, but I think particularly at the lower ranks, I think Riot wanted to make an easy to play assassin. And having a point and click gap closer that a teammate, like, basically what happens, she like goes like, grrr, and she like looks at someone, and then like a teammate needs to run up and block them like it's a Kled ult. Now if they do that, then Nefiri can suck. But if they don't do that, then your AD carry just dies for free. Now, for all of you who play AD carry, and to this day I don't know why anyone who plays AD carry and watches my channel, how many times do you think a teammate is going to be like, I should do the right thing and block for my ADC, versus how many times do you think Nefiri is going to go, grrr, knife cat, or dog, or whatever it is, knife dog, and you're gonna, they'll like run up and be like, no, I'll block Nefiri. Like, the tank's gonna run up, your Leona's gonna run up, block the Nefiri, then you'll 2-shot them, right? You guys know where I'm going with this tangent, right? I didn't just say all this for nothing. I'm saying Nefiri is just gonna run up and kill the ADC and no one's gonna care. Okay, so we have a buff on Jungler Treat because they're nerfing red buff, apparently. A buff on Axiom's Arc because Riot hates life. A buff on Prowler's Claw because Riot really hates life. The game clearly needs more lethality and it clearly needs more damage. A buff on Randuin's Omen because, shockingly, in an AD carry meta, a crit AD carry meta, even with teams having 2 crit AD carries, it was still not worth it to buff Omen, which is crazy. It's crazy that this item has been so undertuned for so long. Imagine a world, like, there are so many tank items right now that are so goddamn bad that even in the perfect situation to build them, you still don't build them. Like, imagine you're fighting 4 mages and you look at Force of Nature and you're like, it's not really a good item. Imagine you're fighting double or even triple crit ADC and you look at Omen and you're like, yeah, but it's not really good. And that's how it is. It is so bad. It's so bad that I literally thought it was bugged for the longest time. It's just bad. It's just so bad. Like, in its current state, I think it would need to go 500 health and get like 15 ability haste. Maybe if they did that change, maybe if that's the change they're doing, I'll think more of it. But for now, it is terrible. And I know Riot, they're not going to buff a defensive item to actually be good. Let's be real. Spirit Ocean's getting buffed because Spirit Ocean, as of now, is just like, what if Black Cleaver, but worse? And I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm not saying it's unusable. There certainly are builds and there certainly are some champions that can use it. But the problem is right now, I just don't see it. That's my personal opinion. I don't see it. What are its buffs? From the PBE? I don't know. I again, Ryan hasn't put out their notes and no one's data mined it for some reason. I think it might be getting an AD ratio buff. I'm not really sure. Spirit Visage is getting buffed. I don't know what's going on with that one. I literally don't know what's getting buffed on Spirit Visage. Hopefully the heal and shield ratio. The problem is, even in the best case scenario for Spirit Visage, and this is what I was talking about, even if you're playing Aatrox with Gore Drinker, with Spirit Visage, even in that world, you still, or sorry, even if it's, sorry, let me rephrase that. If you're playing Aatrox with Gore Drinker and Sterak's and Guardian Angel, it is still not worth it to go Spirit Visage. And think about that. If you're building a champion whose every item heals or every item shields, okay, and you're playing that champion and that champion themselves heals, right? Even in that world, Spirit Visage is still bad. If you're fighting 3 mages and you healed and you shield, then Spirit Visage would still potentially not be worth it. As I said, there are some tank items right now that are so undertuned, they are so bad, that even in their ideal situation, you don't want to go them. So we'll see what they do with Spirit Visage, because Riot has kind of been on this, no, healing and shielding is terrible. Everyone should die in one hit. Nobody should ever heal. Like, we're at a point where healing is like half as good as it used to be or less. Healing is so bad right now, it's crazy. I'm not joking. With 60% healing debuffs, champions were healing from more than they are now, which is crazy. Like, I'm not even joking. Champions are healing so little these days, it's crazy. That's one of the reasons that comebacks are so hard to make right now. Outside of, like, Divine Sunderer, nobody really heals anymore. Like, items have, like, 8% lifesteal. There's no Gunblade. Conqueror got its healing nerfed. Gore Drinker is nerfed into the ground. I mean, it's still somewhat usable now, but that's only because they give it so much health and shit, right? Stark's Gauge is getting buffed. It is usable on some champions, 100%, but I do agree that it overall needs to be stronger. I do like that Riot is buffing up some bruiser items. I hope Sparsosion maybe gets some more health, and I hope Stark's Gauge gets, like, could it get its healing back maybe? I don't know. It would be nice. Gale Force is getting nerfed because Riot wants to push AD carries from using Gale Force into using Infinity Edge. Shockingly to Riot, when every AD carry goes Lord Dominik's, the most broken item in the game, Lord Dominik's, an item that AD carries still refuse to build. AD carries literally, guys, AD carries have entered a world where going Lord Dominik's second or third will just win them the game automatically. They literally just go, do you want to win the game? And they're like, do you want to win the game? Yes or no? And they're like, rapid fire cannon. And then they lose LP. And then they complain at Riot. And Riot's like, well, we can't nerf Lord Dominik's, the AD carry lost. And I'm just sitting here like, but they didn't even play well. Blue buff is getting buffed from what I see. I think it's giving more ability haste. Ghost is being changed because, oh my god, this change is so stupid, I'm losing my mind. Ghost is being changed to no longer stack up on kill, but instead just last, I shit you not, 15 seconds. Can you imagine fighting a Darius or an Olaf in top and Ghost now lasts 15 seconds? Imagine kiting it out. Imagine kiting out the 10-second duration Ghost, and now it lasts 15 seconds. Imagine all those times you've kite out Darius or Olaf with Ghost, but now it's got 5 more seconds duration. Just imagine that. Just imagine that situation. Okay. Infinity Edge is going to give less AD, but it will give more crit damage. So Riot, I guess, has realized that Infinity Edge first item isn't going to work out. They desperately tried to push people to build Infinity Edge first, but I guess building an item with 20% crit that does giga crit damage, a lot of people didn't like the RNG of it and preferred the more consistent Gale Force. Who knew? Who knew? So they're going to nerf its AD and give it more crit damage. So second or third Infinity Edge will be better. First item Infinity Edge will be worse. Okay. I don't know why AD carries need to be stronger late game, but there you go. Red buff is being nerfed in the early game. I think the slow will be weaker in the early game. I guess Riot has finally decided after like 13 years that maybe not every single jungler should be able to run up, hit you with a red buff, and then you're dead at level 3. Who knew? Who knew that might be a bad idea? Personally, I'd just remove the slow on red buff entirely and just make it a healing buff. But okay. Static Shiv is getting adjusted. I don't know how. I literally don't know. Trinity Force is getting adjusted. Okay, so it will get more AD per stack, but the stacks will be kept at 3 instead of 5. So after sustained damage, it will deal less damage. In a burst of 5 attacks, say, it will do more damage. Everybody get that? So it only stacks up to 3. So first attack, no bonus. Second, third, fourth attack, stack it up. Fifth attack will then get max damage. So over the course of 5 attacks, it'll do a little bit more damage. Over the course of 10 attacks, it will do less damage. Okay, everybody get it? Got it. Okay, so that's this patch. I got through it, and I only used 25 minutes. Okay. I don't think I'm going to go over the 2v2 patch. I might go over that. We might see what I do with that, because the thing is, it's on the PvE, so we don't really know. I think most of you haven't even played the game mode yet, so doing a patch note on a game mode that hasn't even come out yet, I don't think you guys want that. I could be wrong, but unless if you go down in the comments and type I want to see that patch note, do a video on it later. Okay, fine, I'll go over the PvE notes for it, right? But otherwise, yeah. So thank you all for watching. I'm probably gonna be live. Well, I will be live on Kick today. I'm probably gonna play some Hearts of Iron 4 on my Variety channel using the Fallout mod. If you're interested in that, join my Variety Discord. In order to do that, go to my Variety channel or Kick or whatever. You can find it. I don't like putting it on this channel because I use my Variety Discord for literally. It's just there to set up Variety games. It's not like a chatting Discord, so to speak. It's let's set up some games to play, right? So if you're interested in Hearts of Iron and blah blah blah, then go there. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. Make sure to make sure to subscribe, and as always, thank you to my Patreon supporters, thank you to my YouTube members, thank you to my Kick subscribers, thank you to everybody. Join my Patreon. It's the best way to support me. You can find a link in the description. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.